Well, hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. It is awesome to be back here and reviewing another tool. Actually, this is more of an unboxing, but we're going to play with it a little bit and see what it can do. So anyway, this is a new tool that Knipex sent out this last week. Let's get into it and see what they actually sent me this time. It has quite the impressive packaging, at least for me, and apparently is not only introducing the tool, but also a couple of new handle designs. So they have this new, and they included a whole little pamphlet here, the Knipex Extend. So this is a color code clips that you can put in your handles. So you know how when you put like 10 pairs of Knipex down in your Vito bag and you put the head of them down and the handles up, you really, until you've used them a very long time, maybe you get where you can identify what a few of them are. This is supposed to help with that by giving you a bunch of colors you can just snap into the handles, so you know the yellow are my wire strippers, you know, say the blue are my, I'm going to draw a complete blank, pliers, wrenches, cobras, all that good stuff could be color-coded, so you grab the right thing and you're not going, look at this one, look at this one, look at this one, or having to store all your tools upright, which is kind of where I've ended up landing, is all my stuff in my daily use bag is pretty much pointing up, which is not my favorite. But see how there's a little deal there showing you kind of what they're thinking. See all the different colors in their bag there, all that good stuff. But not only does it do colors, they made it where you can snap in a tether attachment, and all that is probably in here. So let's pull it out and see what it is. If you want to order any of the different colors, they have all the info for ordering those and the tethering system. And now the third page, we are introducing the tool. This is the Knipex Stepcut XL right here, and it's going to be in this box, so we're going to pull it out. If you remember, this is the, I suppose, the original Stepcut. I use these a lot because when you get into stuff like this, say 6-gauge stranded here, it just has these nice stepped jaws through here that allow it to cut more individual strands at a time instead of actually trying to cut all the way through it. It takes care of that for you and just cuts around the curve of the stepped jaws right there. So each one will take a bite as it works its way down until it cuts all the way through at the end. So a really small pair of pliers, that's why I have this little bitty pair of cutters here, will cut some impressive wire. And yes, it cut this 6-gauge that we're going to use here. So, I mean, these are awesome. They're just 160 millimeter ones too, so pretty small. A pair of XLs is going to cut some pretty legit stuff. I'm sure I'll end up enjoying them. They're a lot bigger plier though. There's that box there. We're going to go ahead and close that one up and get it out of the way. Really appreciate Knipex hooking us up like this. Kind of fun to get some more cool stuff to look at. The grip that changes the game, and not only the grip, they're going to let us demonstrate it on the actual Twin Grip XL. Look at those right there. Isn't that an awesome setup right there? So Knipex Extend tethered tool clips. So these are actually 225s. So 225, and they've gone with a black right in here. That's kind of different. Got black on both sides. The handles are nice and close together when they're closed. And the step cutting is not quite as intense as some of the other ones. So like you look at these little bitty ones, they have a whole lot of steps in these jaws right here, if you can see that. Just right through there. It almost looks serrated. This step cut has two different cutting jaws. It's kind of a unique look. Look at that big tooth in the center. So you have a tip cutter. I assume you could use that for a lot smaller stuff, and the big back here that has two kind of steps to it. So let's see how it cuts here in a second. The other stuff in the box, we have a little tube with all different colors of those little color coding clips. So we'll see how they snap into the handles, and the tethering system. So this is the, well, I hate to read all of that, but there you go. There's the info on that. But it's a kind of a neat little deal. When this has to be turned, and then you can open it right through there. And when you close it, it actually locks, so you can't just reopen it. These are handy if you're working up on a tall ladder, if you're working on a lift, anything like that. and you really need to make sure that you don't drop your tool on somebody's head, somebody's car, any number of things. Some of us work at heights quite a bit, and tethering is nice. I do like a little bit longer one, so this is one of their short tethers. I believe there's a whole lot of options for the tethering system here, which is probably here too. But yeah, they have the long ones with the stretchy cable. I have some of those already that I use. They fit on the pliers you have. You just have to get the ones that have the ring that flips out on the back. So basically, if they're going to go ahead and put this design on everything now, it'll make it where you can make all your tools tetherable, which is super cool. So let's see what this little tether actually looks like. Dump out all these colors, flavors, all that good stuff. Man, how many different colors they give us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 different colors just here that they sent. So that is probably close to how many pairs of Knipex are in a normal bag. Now, if you have like a wheeler bag, you may want to just say my several sizes of Cobras are all going to have the same color tag on them or something like that. But here is the tether point. Let's see if we can get that where you can really see it. We can get that to really focus for you. That's all it is this little bitty clip with a little red stopper on that far side. So all you'd have to do is just put this through on these handles. They have these little deals now. See that right there? And it's on both sides. So you can not only put a tether in, you can also color code the tool too. So just put this in, and this is just me going for it here. Well, there may be a specific side for my tether, or they're very nice and tight, one or the other. I'm going with super tight. There we go. You can push it in with your thumb, and that is what it looks like with the tether point attached. It's not nearly as big of a intrusive kind of a hook as the ones before. So let's see, what would we have to do in order to get this attached? I believe we can just go through, push this up and through, and then I usually just go up and around like that, pull this back down, and then if you wanted to, you could slide this little stopper anywhere along the line that you want. It just has a little pinch stopper to hold those strings together. And there you go. Check out how nicely, well, let's get that focused. Check out how nicely that's now attached to that tool. Just nice and solid, and it's a positive point. It's not just something that slid in and attached on a bump or something like that. It has this big stop behind it now that will keep that from coming out. So now you can attach your tool, no problem. And if you need to take that off, it's just reversing it. Just roll your little string over, pass everything back through, and get your attachment taken off of here in, just a minute if you want to. So you can move your different attachment points from tool to tool, especially, if you're doing several things up on a ladder. But for me, having 3 or 4 of the little tethers is kind of nice, and having some nice long stretchy ones is nice because I'll hook them on the lift basket, just whatever I have handy in front of me. But that's all that is on those plier handles right there. It's not that intrusive. So let's see what the color deals look like. So let's go with, green. Green is my favorite color, so there you go. How about that? We got green right there, and it's kind of an angled deal. So you have this flat shoe on the top that's going to be the really highly visible part. Just push this in right here. We'll get it in position, push it down, and it's just nice and easy, and look at that. Just like that, we now have a little green indicator on the back of our handle right there. How nice is that? So if you want to change it, it should be the same kind of deal. Just reverse it. You may have to have a tool, but maybe not. Watch this. I think I can get it with my fingers. Yep, it's out. Now we want to go with yellow. No problem. Just start it in there, give it a little push, and we have a yellow indicated tool. So you could put these on everything in your bag. It's actually really nice. I'm going to be able to put these the way I want them in my Vito bags now. I'm going to leave the yellow in there. That's actually pretty good. But that's the little tool. That's the Stepcut. Let's go ahead and cut a couple pieces. I got a couple pieces of 6-gauge stranded here that I thought might be perfect for cutting with this. I saw on the outside of the box it said Stepcut XL, so I was like, well, I'm going to just get out my original Stepcuts and see what the difference is here. But let's grab this red. This is 6-gauge stranded wire, and I don't expect it to have any difficulty, especially here on the back. So this is going to be made for significantly bigger wire if you want, but that 6 gauge fits inside the very first step of these cutters. So that's just nothing to it. Now, with the small step cuts from before, I mean, you're talking a tool that is this tiny, and that's part of why I got it in the standard little grips like this. It makes it just a completely miniature tool. And look at that, it cuts it no problem too. It's just that little design where everything cuts kind of in a gradual manner instead of it trying to take one big bite at a time. It's amazing. These, it's kind of a combination jaw between the Stepcut, and if you use their forged wire strippers, they have that nice, it's an amazing cutter on the back of it too with the curved blades. This kind of reminds me a little bit of that with it. So let's throw this 6 gauge actually out on the very tip and see if it'll just do it there. Yeah, so obviously these are able to cut a much more significant wire. I don't know if it actually tells you in here what they'll cut up to. It might. We can sure check. Cut solid copper or aluminum cables up to 2 AWG. Stranded up to 2 AWG, and fine stranded up to 4. Dual cutting areas, step cutting edges position cables closer to the joint, and the front cutting edge is used for the gradual cutting or nibbling of larger cables. So if you needed to just work your way in and cut a larger cable, you could work your way around it with that front. It has some kind of neat designs to that front that would really lend itself to working its way in from the outside. So has the shear cutting edges that are, like I was saying, very similar to the wire cutting type that we've used forever. But anyway, they'll cut up to 2 AWG on solid and 4 on stranded. So, well, stranded up to 2 also, unless they're fine stranded, and then 4. But I mean, being able to cut 2 AWG with these is really nice, and they're super slim line plier right there. But look at the difference between the original little step cuts and these Stepcut XLs. That is definitely a lot of difference. Of course, these have the comfort grips too, so just be aware that's a big grip on there. Anyway, what do you guys think of these new Stepcut XLs? But not only that, we have the tether system, we have the color coding system. They really let us try out everything in one little hit. So pretty neat little deal. Let me know your thoughts in those comments down below, and it's good to see you guys again. We'll see you guys on the next video.